I'm just jumping on here real quick. Nothing special, but I do have a guest. Go ahead, show your face. All right. He don't want to show his face. But the short version of this is I am having an opportunity to do a master class, and I want to give some context behind it. I remember watching a video about your backstory, and the individual is being interviewed, and he said that the villain and the hero has the same backstory. You got it. And go ahead, grab it, buddy. There we go. Just don't turn this off, okay? Because we're recording right now. All right. Let's see if Daddy can take the batteries out. Y'all bear with me as my little one tries to take control of this live. All right, here we go. But the interesting thing that the individual is pointing out is that the villain and the hero has the same backstory in the sense that, which makes their story more relatable, right? If you think about DC, Marvel, or any of the comics, or just any person that you admire, the gist is that their backstory is what makes their story relatable. So the villain and the hero, their backstory is typically they're orphaned and they experience some level of pain. And the villain, the person indicated, which I love what he said, is that typically they have a scar or a speech impediment. But while there are similarities, the key difference is how they respond to pain, right? The villain, he suggested, would say, hey, the world hurt me and I plan on hurting the world back. While the hero says, the world hurt me and I'm going to make sure that no one else experiences that same type of pain. That led me into my own personal journey, which God basically turned my misery into ministry. And I fell in love with relationships, meaning when people are in relationship with themselves and relationship with others. You're right, there you go. Good job. And this is Zion, by the way. This is our little one. And so in relationship with God as well. So on Circles, I basically have an opportunity to share a platform where one of the members one time in one of our faith-based rooms, and Circles is a platform where you get to be in groups, support groups, where people share some of your common pain, some of your common struggles and adversities. And on this platform, I have an opportunity to talk about how to heal from coping from heartbreak or anywhere on the mile marker that we call this milestone we call life, whether it's separation, divorce, grief, reconciliation, finding me after we, wherever you're at, you're finding yourself on it. This room is for that, but the foundation is faith. And out of these rooms, one of my members shared, and she reached out to me that she said, hey, Bernard, what I see from your story is the transformative power of turning your pain into purpose. And I think we should do something in that vein. And I learned something from one of my colleagues. Shout out to Spectrum Health when I was there. And we had a great leader. She basically says, Lynn Todman is her name, by the way. She basically said, if you raise it, own it. So I tried to use the same thing and ask the individual to, yeah, buddy. I tried to ask the individual to actually take on the task because also on Circles, there's peer-to-peer led groups. And the individual said, basically, I'm not actually healed on my journey, but I'm hoping that either you or another of the group facilitators, so there's also professionally led rooms, can actually lead out the room. And I prayed about it and it was out. I want to say I'm do not persuaded, fully convinced. Every Sunday, we get to see breakthroughs. And I believe your breakthrough is also a correlation where it's coordinated where you meet your breaking point, right? It's at your lowest of lows where you find that breakthrough, where you can find that you can push through, right? And so in my room or in the audio rooms, we started to have more discussions about this journey from pain into purpose. And then Circles reached out to me to become a community partner where every Sunday at 7 p.m., like today, we talk about the story arc of your story. And church, I was only taught typically in the church culture to share your testimony of overcoming after you get out of it. Now, the church culture didn't teach that, but that's what I saw mostly. Excuse me. Let me clarify. But what I found is that there's purpose to your pain, and I don't have to wait until I get out of my circumstance to start sharing my story. Because with your backstory, it becomes relatable. But in addition to it, what you find is that when you're not too far removed from the pain, you have the language. And that's another thing that I think is important to purpose, is sometimes we don't have the language for our emotions or our pain, right? And then also it leads to not having language for your purpose. But I believe we all were created with purpose. I believe we all were created with a sense of worth, unconditional worth. And as Czar would put it, but I also believe that we don't always have the safe space, right? And so I love curating a container or a safe space for people to be able to share their stories. I believe what Revelation 12 verse 11 says, for we overcome by two things, the blood of the Lamb, right? And the testimonies of Jesus Christ. Right. And so whether you believe or not, I am fully convinced, I'm do not persuaded as a believer, God saved me. And I want to create a space where you get to tell your story, your testimony. You get to share how you are overcoming. Right. And what we do is use like the aspect of where you see the opening scenes or the closing scenes. We use breaking in two moments. We use the midpoints. We use also even the B story, the subplot. We use points in times where you're actually having to make a decision. And so what we do in our spaces is we curate a space where you actually get to tell your story. You get to navigate through the pain. You get to hear through others how they're navigating. So what I ultimately hope is that you can join us today or any other Sunday, any given Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Circles app. And what I have for anyone that subscribes, the first 30 subscribers that subscribe to the Circles Pro, and you stay there for 30 days, what I'm going to do is give you a free 30-day trial, right? So you get to check out another masterclass. You also get to check out some of our audio rooms, and our audio rooms have a gamut of things to offer, right? From mental health experts to peer-to-peer led rooms. If you're looking for things in regards to veterans, we have individuals that specialize in it. This, I would suggest, is your biggest interdisciplinary team, right? You have people that connect to people, hearts that connect to hearts, and I want to give you an opportunity to connect with me on this journey from pain into purpose, right? I believe all our pain has a purpose. I'm not here to trivialize pain. I'm not here to tell you that your pain, especially when we talk about chronic pain. And believe it or not, one out of five individuals deal with chronic pain and not necessarily know how to navigate it, especially when they're experiencing the coupling of life transitions and life challenges where stress and adversity, your body starts to keep count. So I teach some of the self-regulation skills that I learned from the Trauma Resource Institute or even in my schooling as a social worker. And lastly, I'm doing a lot of talking, but I'm just really excited about this opportunity because I believe if we have a safe space, a well-being space, or shalom space where you can actually be you, and I say this in all my groups, if you're second guessing how to show up, and that's you not being yourself, but in this space you get to show up as you. I mean wherever you're at on this walk of life. You show up as yourself. If you have challenges, if you have struggles, what I'm going to do, I'm going to model everything that I'm asking of you. I learned this in my social work programming. Whatever I'm asking for you to do, I'm going to do. So I'm sharing my story and I'm being vulnerable and I'm self-disclosing all of the aspects. And then we curate a space where you can ask questions, right? So I want you to join us on 7 p.m. Sundays Eastern on the Circles app. So you can learn how to journey from your pain into your purpose. And you're probably saying, Denard, well, I got everything good. I have my equilibrium. I have my self-regulation things. But life knows no gender, ethnicity, creed, and when it brings stress and adversity your way, right? We can find that sweet spot. We can learn how to find language for it. We can also learn how to find practical tools to walk through our pain. And that's my hopes, is to give you that space. And even if you don't want to try it for yourself, Gift this to someone else. Someone else, I'm pretty sure you know at least one individual right now that's struggling and they're in that rocking chair position where they're moving forward, but they feel like they're taking 2 steps back and they feel like they're going nowhere. If that's you, then this space is for you, right? I believe that we all can move forward and not just move on. If you're in a relationship where you left a past relationship, but the memories of that person is lasting longer in your life than they did physically, this space is for you. If you're trying to navigate a divorce where it's the dissolution phase and you're reconsidering and you're feeling like you made a mistake, well, this space is for you, right? If your faith, the foundation of your faith, you're questioning everything, the spirituality, the community in which you're in, right? This space is for you. I believe we all need a space. And again, if you don't find that this space is for you, guess what? There's other spaces on the Circles app. So give it a try. You have nothing to lose. And I want to say thank you to anyone that's listening. Whenever you listen, I'm going to actually go get ready for our group at 7 p.m. Eastern. I love you all. God bless and Godspeed. And remember, you can only get through what you're getting through if you are being you. So let's become ourselves as God wanted us to be, in a sense where he says you are wonderfully, in Psalms 139 verse 14, and fearfully created in his image. So he's even given us an opportunity to be ourselves. So why don't we give ourselves a chance to be ourselves in that space, in his image, where our faith can be a resource and we can be connected to the source. Join me, come on through. And I have to stop now because my little one is creating damage. So Zaza, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Wait, bye-bye. Yay. All right, bye, everyone.